Working with NADULA hair. Information will be in the description box below. This is the wig we're working with today, and let's go ahead and get it because we finna transform this honey. First and foremost, you're gonna need your BW2 Clairol Professionals bleach. Next up, you are going to need your volume developer. I got 40 because it definitely transitions a lot quicker, but you can get 30. The brand does not matter, but what I use in the description box. Next, you need a neutralizing shampoo, conditioner. Once again, you do not need to have this brand, but this is just what I prefer. After that, you are going to go ahead and get the proper dye because I did not have the right dye. This is just what my mom had lying around the house, and it was kind of like a guinea pig trial and error kind of thing. But in the description box, you will see the list of the proper dyes that you should use to tint your lace. Next, you just need a dyeing bowl and a brush. I don't know the technical name of it, but you see what it is. Look for it at the hair store and at Sally's. It's pretty easy to find, and they're usually like $1 each. Next, you're going to need a bowl to hold your boiling water in for tinting your lace. You also are going to need some gloves to protect your hands because bleach is a very harsh chemical and your hands will be itching like crazy if you don't use them and if you get it on your hands. You're also going to need aluminum foil. You don't have to use this, but this is what I'm going to be showing you in the video. But you do not have to do this step. You can actually skip it if you prefer. Next up is 2 push pins or more, whatever helps you feel like you got that thing locked in place. Then you need some tweezers for plucking, as well as the razor for the baby hairs. And then last but not least, 2 butterfly clips, or honestly any clips that you can find around the house to help pull the hair back while you are plucking that frontal. So if you are a lighter, fair skin tone type of babe, you don't even need a tint your lace, especially if it's HD or transparent lace. It usually blends fairly well with your complexion. But if you are a caramel up into a dark skin babe, you're going to need to tint your lace so it blends in seamlessly with your scalp or your wig cap. If not, you can go ahead and just skip this step and fast forward to the bleaching. So we're going to start off by tinting your lace, and you're going to need boiling water, as you see here. I know y'all know how to boil some water. Then you're going to go ahead and transfer that boiling water into your plastic bowl or your plastic cup like mine that has a handle, as you see here in my video. Okay, y'all, so once you have your boiling water in your bowl or a plastic cup like mine, like a bigger one with a handle, you're going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of your dye. Now, this is where I messed up and I noticed that I got the wrong dye. Well, I didn't buy this. It's just something my mom already had stashed away because she is a beautician, so I just used what was at the house for this video. So basically, you'll see me stirring and I instantly realized, like, why is there no color to this dye? But in your case, you would have a colored dye that's already has the color to it that does not need a developer. And from that moment, you would just go ahead and stir it in. You don't need a lot at all. So you literally would just take that teaspoonful of dye and just go ahead and stir it in. So you're going to see me adding the developer to try to make something shake that ain't going to shake, honey. So this is just literally a beginner's video for y'all because this is not something I would have did on the regular had I been at home and had bought everything. But you would just be you won't be doing all of this extra stuff you see me doing. You're just going to go ahead and put your teaspoon and stir it. So once you have your dye stirred into your boiling water, you're going to go ahead and take that frontal and dip it right on in. You should check on it every 30 seconds to a minute and take it out and put it against your hand and see if it matches your skin tone. This is not something you want to just sit there and walk away from because your lace will get a little too dark and then you're going to be mad at yourself. So this is exhibit A of why you absolutely should not walk away from your frontal or your closure while you're tinting it, because look at it. Now it's way too dark. But guess what? This is a beginner friendly video for a reason. You're going to make mistakes, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can fix it without having to do all this extra stuff in the install video. So just don't even worry about it, honey. We're going to get you together. So with hopes that your lace turned out into the exact color that you wanted it to be, you're going to go ahead and just rinse it with, it doesn't even matter what temperature, just go ahead and rinse off the excess water dye from you dipping it in there, just to make sure it's just all off of the hair and so forth and so on. And then you can go ahead and move on into the bleaching process. So now you're going to go ahead and place your wig inside out, or if you just have a frontal, if you're doing like a full install, you're just going to go ahead and flip that frontal inside out, and you're going to make sure that you are pulling the hair away from it just being, you know, visible, so that the bleach doesn't seep through and go directly onto the hair while you are bleaching the frontal or your closure. And then you're going to go ahead and just take your 2 push pins or more, whatever you feel, to make sure it's just locked securely. Okay, so now it is time to go ahead and mix your bleach and your developer. Make sure you've got your gloves, ladies and gents. You're going to go ahead and use a cup and a half, or maybe like a cup and a fourth, honestly, because the developer kind of makes it the quantity much more. If you're only using a closure, you're probably only going to need a cup, if that. You're more than most likely not going to use the whole thing. But for me, since I know I have a frontal and I have a 13 by 6, I went ahead and just did a little bit more than a cup. So as you can see, I went ahead and placed it in there. So your main goal for your mixture of your bleach and your developer is to make sure that it's a very thick consistency. I am eyeballing it. There's no specific measurement, but you don't want to just pour it in there like you're pouring milk into a bowl of cereal. You want to just pour just a little bit, go ahead and stir it, check the consistency, pour a little bit more, check the consistency, but you don't want it to be dripping off the brush. Like when I say thick, I mean thick. Like a perm, like, you know, when you put it, like, it should be almost maybe even thicker than the consistency of a perm. But when you flip that brush over, nothing should be dripping off the brush whatsoever. So you know, as you continue to pour a little bit of developer in there, you continue to check that consistency and make sure that it's mixed real well. And then when you flip that brush over, as you'll see me do here, that nothing's coming off that brush, because you don't want the bleach to seep through that lace and bleach the roots of your wig, because you're not going to be happy, trust me. So that's something you want to really make sure you're paying close attention to, because it's hard to come back from that. And it's just a whole nother process if you mess this step up. You want to at least make sure that you're getting the bleaching part right, because that's what's going to make your wig look the most natural and the most laid, honey. Now, if you do catch yourself putting too much developer, just go ahead and add more bleach to make it thicker. So the devil was very busy that night, and somehow the footage of me applying the bleach from the very beginning got deleted. But here you're just going to see me demonstrate that I'm just doing the lightest taps and strokes, is how I would describe it. You do not want the bleach to seep through to the roots of your frontal or your closure. Like, it should be so light. You should feel like you are the bleach and you're sitting on a cloud and you're not trying to seep through that cloud to fall through the sky. Like, that's how light those taps and strokes you should be when applying your bleach. I would highly suggest being very meticulous when it comes to this step, because once you bleach those roots, you're going to be very salty. I can't express that enough. And then you got to go back and try to dye. It's just going to be too much, and you want to definitely avoid that at all costs. So next is where you're going to see me apply aluminum foil. This just makes the process much quicker, because you're trying to avoid leaving that bleach on too long, because the longer you leave it on, it just gives it an opportunity to bleach those roots. You can skip this step if you choose, but I suggest it because it just makes it much quicker. And you should only leave it on there for about 15 minutes. And then you can come back and check on it and flip it from inside out to check and like kind of part it and check to see if all the knots are bleached. If they're not, then honestly I would take the aluminum foil off and maybe leave it on for another 5 minutes and then come back and check it again. I absolutely would not leave this on longer than 20 to 25 minutes. Like, there's no reason you should have to do such a thing, especially if you use the 40 volume developer. Now, if you use 30, maybe you could go ahead and leave it on for 20 minutes and then check on it, because its process is a lot slower than the 40. But since 40 like develops, it processes so quickly, 15 minutes honestly should get the job done with the aluminum foil. But if you feel that it's not as bleach as you prefer, then you can go ahead and do another 5. But after that, that's about it. So now that your knots are bleached, you're going to go ahead and rinse it with cool water, because heat will make the bleach process. So you don't want to use hot water. You want to go ahead and use cold water and go ahead and just rinse all that bleach off and make sure it's, you know, you kind of want to make sure the water is kind of going through the front side of the wig. So that way it's pushing the bleach outward versus inward, like towards the roots. Once you've rinsed out all the visible bleach from the inside out, you want to go ahead and begin to apply your neutralizing shampoo. But you definitely want to make sure that all the visible bleach is out first, because it just makes the final step much easier. Because if there's any excess bleach left over, it just causes, the chemicals can cause the lace to deteriorate. Like, it'll just become very flimsy and it can tear easily, especially if you got that HD lace or that transparent lace. It's already thinner than your classic lace. So you want to make sure you're getting all that out by just going ahead and scrubbing it and just making sure you're getting all of that out. I suggest cold water. I don't know why I'm using hot water. Don't do what I'm doing. Use cold water, please, because hot water does make the chemicals process. So even though you are rinsing it out, the safe route is just to use cold water. So listen to what I'm saying and not what I'm doing. And then after this is done, you will be ready for your next step in the customizing process. So go ahead and take a look at the next video.